So I was hoping just to start off the bat if you could describe what Harpers Globe is and how it's working in coordination at Harpers Island on CBS.
So we call Harpers Globe a social show, which is kind of the name that we came up with to describe the types of things we make, because everyone in the community, literally our fan community was like, oh, is it an ARG? No, it's not really an ARG, it's a web series, and I hate the word webisodes. It just doesn't really capture what the whole experience. So what it is in practice is it's basically an online series and a social network that's tied into the TV show Harpers Island that's coming out on April 9th. Basically the way that it functions is we're launching 4 weeks prior to the TV show. So the site's been up for about a week and a half. The first episode just went up today. And there's essentially 2 ways to experience it. So once a week, every Wednesday, there is an episode of Harpers Globe, and it's about 5 minutes long, and it tells the complete story of that week. And it feels like a short, fast TV episode, kind of. But different production, the way it's shot.
What is the show actually about? Because I did see the trailer,
sure, yeah.
haven't seen the first episode.
So Harpers Island is the story of a group of friends that go to an island off the coast of Washington State for a destination wedding, and then people start dying one by one. And the island has a sort of dodgy past. There was a serial killer 7 years ago, John Wakefield, who killed a bunch of people on the island. And the question is, how is it all connected together? So Harpers Globe is the story of a girl named Robin who goes to Harpers Island to work for the island newspaper, Harpers Globe, and create a digital archive and a community website at harpersglobe.com for the island. She arrives there, and the wedding arrives as well, and then things start to spin out of control and she gets sucked into the story. So the 2 shows are, overall there's one plot. Robin's story online is essentially a subplot that you can watch that's part of the bigger experience.
So is the idea that people will watch on television and then watch online to supplement, or vice versa? Will people watch online and then discover the show on television?
I think the goal is both. So, in the initial stages right now, definitely we are trying to build buzz for the TV show, build an audience online for Harpers Globe and for the mythology of Harpers Island. So if you go to the site, there's a news archive section where you can read old articles about Wakefield and about what happened on the island. You can start to meet some of the characters that are going to be part of the TV show. So it's to try to immerse you in this mythology, in this world, hopefully build an audience and help launch the TV show. When the TV show is running, most likely, because there will hopefully be millions upon millions of people watching the TV show, it'll probably be a bigger driver from TV to web than from web to TV. But I would imagine there probably will be always some amount of back and forth.
You were mentioning that you actually are picking up most of the interest through links from Twitter and not, in fact, from Google.
Yeah.
So do you think that is typical for online series? And do you see that continuing for Harpers Globe?
Well, yeah. It's Google is an index of pages. So Google has information that happened in the recent past, but not right now, because it takes a little bit of time for literally a web page to get created by whoever's creating it, and then for that page to get indexed by Google and presented in the search engine. And so it's inherently kind of static. Twitter and also Facebook, it's inherently real time, and most human conversation requires instantaneous back and forth. And so what we found is that, particularly for an entertainment property where it is about building that buzz, that water cooler type experience, it's happening on Twitter. Now we integrated Twitter too, so it is really native to the site, and so as a result of that, I think that's why they're the highest preferred. Probably Facebook would be above that or right there with it. We just haven't integrated Facebook Connect.
When you say integrated with the site, do you mean people are watching and then the Twitter feed is actually streaming their conversation simultaneously?
So what we actually did is we used the Twitter API to link it to each user. So if you're a user, when you check out the site, you can sign up for a profile, and you can put in your Twitter and for your credentials, and then you can link your Twitter account to your Harpers Globe profile. So when you do a status update on Harpers Globe, it goes to Twitter.
Nice.
When you do a status update on Twitter, it goes to Harpers Globe. You can do a similar thing actually with Facebook and Twitter. They've had that for a bit. We've also done the same thing with YouTube. So you can put in your YouTube credentials, and then all the videos you have on YouTube, you can pull some of them or all of them over to your Harpers Globe video section on your profile page on Harpers Globe.
So is the idea to get views on your own destination site, or just really anywhere the video lives?
I mean, the goal is both. So we see it as being multiple tiers. So on all of the partner sites, or not even necessarily formal partners, but we have pages for Harpers Globe. So there's one on MySpace, there's one on YouTube, there's one on iMeme, because we do a lot of, we have
soon to be
soundtrack.
Fancast, it seems.
Oh yeah, soon to be Fancast. Yeah, I'll have to talk to Karen about that. And then a variety of other sites, do Facebook, Twitter. We have a page, obviously. And the idea is, if you are an avid user of that service, we want you to friend us, be a fan, whatever, link to us, and connect to the brand Harpers Globe. If we find you out there in the random world, we try to drive you to the website, because the website itself is the central hub of everything. All the pages on other sites, they usually will only have the weekly episodes. They're not going to have any of the daily content. They don't have any of the interactivity. You can't talk to the characters. And it's harder to meet fans just for this specific universe.
It's also where you're making the lion's share of your advertising.
I mean,
or is that?
We're not doing the ad sales, so it's hard for me to say. Actually, it's probably more distributed because most of the advertising is in video. But on a longer term basis, yes, I think more of the revenue will be generated for these properties on their own URL. I think all the other places are going to be incremental revenue. So, yeah. So we do both.
Exclusive online video live in a world with all of this noise. I mean, I think they mentioned it on the panel. There's so much content, and B, you've got repurposed content from linear television.
Sure.
So how does exclusive online video find its place in that world?
I mean, well, first of all, I think it has to be produced for the medium. So the weekly episode of Harpers Globe, the truth is, you don't have to watch that online. So that 5-minute episode, there's 16 of them. You could watch that on an iPhone or an iPod Touch. You could watch it on almost on your TV, although it's not HD, so it might not look amazing. You could watch it on your mobile phone. You could watch it anywhere, because there isn't a social experience for that episode. It is a lot more like a TV episode. But for everything else that we've produced, all the daily content, all the profile pages, the interactive, I mean, every week we have an interactive thing that involves like talking to Robin or talking to the other characters and literally participating in the story. You can't do that anywhere except on harpersglobe.com. So I think that by dedicating that site to that experience, that you can really get people to go to it and to engage in it, and you can really set it apart from really just putting an episode of The Office online or something like that, which is fine. I mean, people should do that, but like, it's no different than if you were just watching it on TV.
Well, and it seemed like that level of engagement was something that, starting with Lonely Girl, you guys really pioneered.
Yeah, it's critical too. I mean, like, we are not a web video company. We are a community company. It just so happens that the communities that we form are built around primarily video-driven content. But we had an account on YouTube for a month or two before we even uploaded a video as Lonely Girl. We were talking to people. She existed. She had friends. And if not for that, no one would have watched the show. The first video got thousands of views because she already had a presence. And so, Harpers Globe has been running for a couple weeks now, even before the first episode and before we started doing press and all that. There's already tens of thousands of views on the trailer. There's already thousands, probably multiple thousands of comments and forum threads. There's already tons of people on the website. And if we hadn't done that, we might as well have just, packed up. Like, that's really important, we think.